All right. Thank you, Chris and Paul. Thank you very much. That was quite the exciting. Watching the chat stream was almost as much fun as listening to the voiceover for the race. Thank you. I'm glad everybody was engaged in the chat as well. We are next going to have Roberto Martinez come on. I'm hoping that Roberto is here. We're looking for him, but we are going to just keep continuing on here a little bit to make sure and give him a chance to join. So fingers crossed. The next segment here is talking about our diversity, equity, and inclusion essay contest winners. It was something we wanted to do this year and felt that it was time, right? And Roberto, who's the Human Resources Manager at MIT Lincoln Laboratory. A little bit about Roberto. So currently serving as Manager in Human Resources for DEI talent at Lincoln Lab. But not only is he the talent manager, but he's really charged with reimagining, enhancing the DEI efforts that the laboratory has. And throughout his career, Roberto has brought great enthusiasm, as he did for us during the panel, the DEI panel, in opening up pathways for students to create relationships and foster a chance to meet people and help them on their professional journey and careers. So he's a very brave proponent and advocates strongly for that, paying it forward. So I think, Lisa, if you want to unmute, I think we're going to tag team this. And I'm going to have a few slides to talk about as we get to the winners of the DEI contest here. So no sound, no movies. So we're just going to talk to these slides a little bit. And so clearly, last year was our first year to have diversity, equity, inclusion panels. We're really focused at BWorks here to try and increase that diversity in STEM, both gender equity and underrepresented minorities. And the goal of the panels, as that we lead into the essay contest, is to provide that inspiration. And I think the panels this year really did that. The first was a focus on college. You can see the list of panelists of both graduate and undergraduate students, as well as staff from MIT Lincoln, staff, Gabriel Campos, staff from MIT. It was wonderfully moderated by Ananga Daisy Fail, who's the director of the National Society of Black Engineers, the Aerospace Special Interest Group. The second focus was on careers, panel moderated by Roberto. Just a few screenshots to talk about the people that were here. This is the first one focused on college. Just a wonderful group. The students were very engaged. Students had a lot of questions. In fact, on the dashboard, if you have follow-up questions, there's still a chance to submit follow-up questions to our panelists. The students all participated here. And this is our career-focused panel. We had quite a number of staff from MIT Lincoln Laboratory, as well as an ex-labber, Yasu Shamelis, who actually taught RACECAR in a prior year here too, and was very happy to be able to give back or pay it forward. So it was really neat to see all the participation, as I said. So coming up, here was the essay contest, right? It involved 3 different questions. I'll let you read the questions. I'm not going to bother reading them out loud. And the next slide here, we'll start to talk about who won the essay. And the end, I'll let you, do you want to announce it, Lisa, or do you want me to?
Either way.
Okay, I'll do the first one and you do the second one, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so the first one is Vibhusha Vadaville, right? And it was a moving essay. We had Roberto read it. I see we've spotlighted her here. It was just wonderful. The essay was wonderful. We had not only Roberto, Lisa, and I read it, but we also had Chamaka Porter from our Community Outreach Office and Daphne, also from the Community Outreach Office. All of us picked that essay as the winning #1 essay for the winning essay for question 1. So thank you for submitting this, and thank you for participating. All right, on to question 2. Lisa.
So question 2, Selena's song. Again, as Joel said, we had numerous people reading and giving points for each essay. And Selena, I was the first one to read your essay. And I immediately was in a meeting with Joel and I said, Selena Song, read her essay. It was great. Great job. You know, everything you said is just encouraging conversations, and it just rings true. And small actions do create better environments. So if we learn anything from what Selena said, every small action you can make will create a better environment. So just keep pushing it forward.
All right. And for the third question, Karan, so your outlook on life was inspiring. And thank you so much for sending us this essay. It was very moving, right? Quoting Dr. Seuss, who would have thought, right? It was wonderful. And we really want to thank you for being part of this. Thank you for writing the essays and sharing your thoughts with us. So again here, congratulations. And thank you to everyone who participated in this. There were a lot of great essays, some of them very moving, and it was a tough decision to make. But I'm glad we had all these essays to choose from. It was wonderful.
Definitely expanded my horizon, reading everything you all wrote.
All right, so I think we're moving on to the next topic here.
So now I am excited to announce that 2 of our sponsors will be offering internships to the students who participated this year. Raytheon internship is already posted on the BWSI dashboard. BAE, she texted me last night. It is going to be up there in a few days. So please go fill out the application. You just never know. Everybody who's worked at these internships has had a wonderful time, and some have stayed on for multi-years. So definitely fill them out. We'd also want to let you guys know that we do college recommendations. So watch for an email from us in early September with what you have to do to get those. And then just congratulations to everybody for everything you did this summer. Now we're going to move on, and we're going to introduce you to Dr. Bob Berman. With supporters like Dr. Bob, we're able to make this impact on many students each year. And he's going to be giving a special award to 15 students for the 3rd time this year. This award is called the Dr. Bob Disruptive Engineering Award.
Hi, I'm Bob Berman, MIT class of 1970, PhD 1975. I'm delighted to be here for the 3rd year to award the prize for disruptive engineering at the BWSI Summer Institute 2022. Why a prize? I recall from my high school days that I was awarded book prizes for mathematics and chemistry. I enjoyed the recognition, and I continue to build on the knowledge, skills, and abilities for a lifetime. So I'm paying it forward. Why disruptive engineering? In their time, gunpowder, the printing press, movies, manned flight, radar, and computers were all disruptive technologies. Perhaps some of the projects you have been working on this summer will grow to be disruptors as well. As members of the BWSI, you have exposure to the MIT's and Lincoln Labs project-based learning. The span of these topics is impressive, including autonomous race cars, Quadrant and virtual, autonomous cognitive assistance, data science for health and medicine, CubeSats, hardware security hacking, remote sensing, serious AI-based game design and development. And this year's also include the topics designing for assistive technologies, cyber ops, autonomous air vehicle racing, underwater autonomous vehicles, unmanned system, synthetic aperture radar, and quantum software. COVID-19 has impacted the closer nurturing relationship with MIT faculty, students, and researchers and Lincoln Lab staff, but you are still able to get up close and personal with, or at least socially distanced from, math, science, hardware, and coding. You will continue to make sense of information and know how to gather and evaluate evidence to make decisions, not to mention the teamwork, communication, and time management skills. I'd like to offer my congratulations to all of you, and especially the prize winners, as you move on from the BWSI. And now for the prize winners. For the autonomous race car, the winner is Benjamin Modinano. Your instructor's right. Ben has impressed all of the instructors with his hunger for knowledge and is consistently engaged during the lectures and labs. He has continuously gone above and beyond with his work in and out of the classroom. He is engaged with other students and has emerged as a leader in the group in a manner that has caused all of his instructors to take notice. He goes beyond the scope of the class to optimize his solutions and develop his knowledge in race car subjects. The instructors are proud of his hard work and determination throughout the course and believe he will make an incredible feat in STEM fields. Outstanding. In the course Autonomous Race Car Quadrant, the winner is Noah Santos. Your instructor's right. Noah has stood out among the students in the BWSI Quad Mini Race Car course this year by demonstrating consistent leadership, creativity, and an unrivaled thirst for knowledge. Noah arrived at the start of July with no prior coding experience and rapidly and confidently grew to lead his team. Noah helped ensure everyone stayed engaged, motivated, and his team executed a great performance at the Quad Mini Race Car Grand Finale. Noah is entering his senior year and plans to pursue a major in computer science when he enters college. In the coming school year, he will be serving as his school's senior class president. Due to an ongoing teacher shortage at his K-12 school, Noah plans to spend his mornings during school assisting with teaching the younger grades to ensure they also get the best education possible. Noah never lets an opportunity to explore an exciting new STEM topic passing by, and he is always ready to deep dive by asking tough questions. Good job, Noah. For the autonomous underwater vehicle, the winner is David Bai. David Bai stood out from the very beginning as a culture setter in the AUV challenge course, consistently stepping into the role of group unifier and leader in a small group work and full class challenges. Although David has strong technical skills, he fully grasps the wisest path to disruptive results is to ensure that everyone is placed in the best position to contribute. When he was assigned to a small group, that group would assume the collaborative nature that is David's trademark. In individual work, he consistently raised probing questions both to satisfy his natural curiosity and to help solve the problem at hand. In cases when he quickly figured out an answer to a problem, David made efforts to patiently coach others through without telling them the solution. Excellent contribution, David. For the UAV course, the winner is Riva M. Ritkar. Your instructor's right. In a class full of exceptional students, we knew it would be hard to select a single student, but Riva caught the attention of all the instructors with her consistent contributions to the class. She has proved to be an integral part of the course through her participation, curiosity, and engagement with other students. We are happy to have Riva be a part of the BWSI UAV course, and we know she will do big things in her future. Superior work, Riva. For the embedded security and hardware hacking, the winner is Jack Rimmel. Your instructor's right. We have nominated Jack Rimmel for the Dr. Bob Berman Award for overall excellence in our embedded security hardware and hacking course. Jack regularly asks thoughtful and creative questions during our lectures and brings a great attitude into the class with him each day. He shows a strong passion for the course material and is willing to try new techniques and approaches to solving problems. In addition, Jack is a strong communicator and team member on the design challenge team. Good work, Jack. For the designing for assistive technology, the winner is Sarah Godfrey. Sarah Godfrey worked on a hand-restricting product for a user with a neurological syndrome. Her detailed and human-centered approach to the design and fabrication of her product took into consideration the context in which the product would be applied and the user's specific anatomy and physiology. Additionally, she took initiative to obtain user information and computer fabrication and testing, even in the face of significant challenges in the product situation. Awesome work, Sarah. For the remote sensing for disaster response, the winners are Elizabeth and Madeline Shin. Your instructors right. They've been an emotional lodestone for our course, and their attitude keeps everyone engaged and our spirits high. Well done. For the UAS SAR course, the winner is Samantha Hua. The UAS SAR instructors write that they selected Samantha for the Bob Berman Award. Since the beginning of the course, Samantha established herself as a leader by being a strong communicator and an intelligent developer. Thanks to her guiding voice while tackling technically complex problems, her team grew and became a place where everyone felt comfortable contributing equally. By the end, Samantha's team was an ideal model for collaboration, innovation, and efficiency, which is a testament to both her teammates' fantastic contributions and her leadership. Samantha has a bright future ahead of her as an engineer and a leader. We cannot wait to see what she accomplishes during her career, and we wish her the best of luck. Outstanding, Samantha. For the course Building a CubeSat, the winner is Alex Tong. Your instructors write, throughout the CubeSat course, Alex has demonstrated a passion and enthusiasm for learning and helping others. His curiosity and initiative sparked conversations that enhanced the class discussion and encouraged his teammates to think outside the cube. Good job, Alex. For serious games with AI, the winner is Christopher Hall. Since the beginning of the course, he took an active role in not only stepping up and assisting his fellow students, but even the instructors in helping iron out some bugs that appeared within the code without even ever being asked to. Outside of that, he has played a major role in his group, providing insight and a leading voice throughout the development of their serious game. He has been an overall pleasure to work with from the lectures and beyond, and it is for these reasons and more that we have decided that for the SGAI to elect Christopher Elliott Hall to receive the Dr. Bob Berman Disruptive Innovation Award. exceeding expectations, Christopher. For the autonomous cognitive assistant, the winner is Eloise Zhang. Your instructors write, Eloise is an outstanding student, teammate, software developer, and researcher. Throughout the summer, Eloise has been eager to roll up her sleeves and engage with the most challenging topics that this course has to offer. She made a big impact on the team-based capstone project, where her abilities to innovate, collaborate well with teammates, and to squash nasty software bugs all paid off in spades. Eloise has played a big role in making the BWSI experience special for her classmates and teachers alike. Excellent work, Eloise. For cyber ops, the winner is Roy Chen. Roy is assigned to Fire Team Dragon and served as the number 3 class leader for cyber ops during its phase 2. Defensive cyber operations advanced. He was an active leader amongst his peers. He communicated effectively and disseminated information to his peers. Roy is technically capable and confident in working both alone and in teams. Roy was observed consistently collaborating with peers through digital ranges and situational training exercises. Roy has supported his peers with live demonstrations on Discord, and his actions are exemplary. As a class leader, he has a friendly demeanor, well-liked by his peers, and has a goofy personality. He has character, presence, and intellect. He has suggested alternative avenues to communicate and to analyze data for the Phase 4 FTX capstone. As a student, Roy is passionate about cybersecurity and working with his cohort. His exit counseling showed that he represents a student of high character and humility. His recommender noted that he was a top student and critical thinker. The recommender served correct, as Roy is a top student in cyber operations. I agree. His bio matches his performance, and he has exceeded standards in the rigorous academics of cyber operations. He was an active participant in class and engaged with his peers. Outstanding effort, Roy.
All right. I think we want to thank Dr. Bob Berman for offering this fund, as well as creating this award for our BWSI students. It's wonderful to hear. Now we're going to shift a little bit from the individual awards to team awards, as well as team and course acknowledgements. We're going to go through, I'll call up the instructors, the lead instructor for the courses. What I'll do is I will first say the instructor up, and the first person up will be Dr. Jeff Liu. Following Dr. Jeff will be Ben Marcotte. So I'm going to ask, excuse me, go ahead, Jeff, talk about your course, and then I'll be jumping back in to introduce the next course. Thank you. Go ahead, Jeff.
Great. Thank you so much, Joel. So I'm the lead instructor for remote sensing for disaster response. We don't have team awards because for the final project, all of the students were on teams that worked towards the same final project, which was a simulated hurricane response. So each of the different teams had different responsibilities, from planning evacuations and analyzing the storm forecast to figure out where to move people to evacuate them, to planning routes for delivering supplies to the various shelters after the hurricane happened, to analyzing aerial imagery to identify where rescue operations need to be held, as well as hosting a 1 hour long live press conference that went as smoothly as I've seen professional press conferences go. So yeah, I just want to recognize everyone in the remote sensing for disaster response course for all the hard work they've done over the last month, and congratulations.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Ben, we'd like to have you come up and talk about the UAS SAR course.
All right, yeah, absolutely. So, hi everyone, I'm Ben Marcotte. I'm the lead instructor of the Unmanned Aerial Systems Synthetic Aperture Radar course, or UAS SAR, and I'll be announcing our team awards. So we graded our teams with students based on many categories, including how well they work together as a team, their systems efficiency, their coding practices, their system capabilities, and their performance during our final event, where they processed over 40 different simulated radar data sets. So based on the scoring from those categories, the top 3 teams will be receiving awards. And deciding on these awards was very difficult because all the teams did amazing work, and they should all be proud of what they've accomplished. So now I will get into the awards. In third place, we have Team 1, which is made up of Samuel Buena, Justin Choi, Nicholas Makovnik, Chinmay Renate, and Piyush Sethi. In second place, we have Team 2, made up of Ty Brennan, Eleanor Ferdine, Tanush Garg, Jessica Fu, and Felix Jie. And finally, in first place, we have Team 4, made up of Samantha Hua, Shivnath Shankar, Jonathan Tong, Derek Wang, and Luca Zarega. Congratulations to all the winners and to all the teams on their amazing work. Throughout the course, the rest of the instructors and I were continuously impressed by what our students were able to do. Their drive to build and improve these systems was like unstoppable and inspiring. So thank you all for making this class great, and good luck with your future careers. We're excited to see what you can do.
All righty. I think next we have up is Jackie. I want to mention Jackie is one of our lead instructors from MITRE. We have 2 courses that are run by MITRE staff, the embedded security and the quantum software course. Jackie is a MITRE employee, and it's just great to see support from MITRE for these courses and for the Summer Institute. Take it away, Jackie.
Hi, thank you. So as Joel said, I'm Jackie Simbakakis. I'm the lead instructor for the embedded security course. I think everyone did such a great job this year. It was a pleasure being able to work with all of our students. They really went through a lot of material and really learned a lot, and were able to come up with some really interesting and good designs and implement them, which can be very challenging. And so our course is based around an ECTF, which stands for Electronic Capture the Flag type project. And so everyone created their own design and competed against each other. And so based on students' order of finishing and success in capturing flags, we awarded the following awards. So our third place team is Team 5445414D2D31. And the students in that team are Ben, Hansel, Jonathan, and Tanae. Our second place team is Team Rooster. And the students in that team are Chloe, Nandana, Stanley, and Wembo. And our first place team is Team 111. And the students in that team are Nevin, Patrick, and Sebastian. Everyone did a great job and should really be proud of themselves. And it was a pleasure working with all of you, and I wish you all the best of luck in the future.
Thank you, Jackie. So next up is one of the second longest running courses, Cog Works, Ryan Siklasty from staff at Lincoln Laboratory. Ryan, take it away.
Hey, what's up, BWSI? Nice to see all of you. I've interacted with a whole lot of you through the Python course. I'm thinking of ordering some pizza tonight. I've got a few coupons on hand, and if you could help me calculate with tax what the order is, a couple pepperoni, couple mushroom, I'm sure you can all do it. Or maybe we can predict how heat's going to diffuse through this plate. But I'll complain if your code takes too long. Sorry about that, everyone. So anyway, as Joel mentioned, this is the 6th iteration of Cog Works. Every single year, it is an absolute pleasure and honor to meet all of these talented students and work with them. In Cog Works, the students take on 3 different modules, working with audio data, computer vision problems, and natural language processing algorithms. And every single year, they absolutely wow me. 2022 is no different. This class is so special. They support each other. They're intelligent, they're funny, and they're engaged. And I just couldn't be more proud and honored to have worked with all of you. So thank you, everyone. And thanks to everyone at BWSI for working so hard on your respective courses. Congrats, everyone.
Thank you, Ryan. And next up, we're going to go to back to RACECAR. So I'm going to call Chris and Paul, or maybe it's Paul and Chris.
Yep. I'm going to hand it off to Paul first to talk about some of the awards for Code Clash.
All right. Thank you, Chris. So guys, the first award we have here is Code Clash. Now, Code Clash is a coding challenge that we have created this summer in order for the students to exercise their brain when they come to class. Every morning at 10 a.m. EDT prompt, we release and prompt for them that they must solve using Python as fast as they can. The topics of these coding challenges contains concepts such as string manipulation, conditional logic, dynamic programming, and even graph theory. So based on the order that the students have submitted their solutions, we have received points for their hard work. We tallied up all the scores from the past 4 weeks, and here's our winner of the first ever BWSI RACECAR Code Clash. In 5th place, we have Yunfeng Wu. In 4th place, we have Manasa Viswanath. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your names. I do apologize for that. In 3rd place, we have Shrey Argawu. In 2nd place, we have Jiwoo Kim. And in 1st place, we have Rishi Pedakama. So congratulations to all our Code Clash winners. And I'm going to hand it back to Chris for the RACECAR award. Chris?
Uh-oh. Paul, can you take it? It looks like Chris is frozen.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Cool. I think my Zoom is crashing a little bit, but I'll just announce these awards when I can because I can't click anything on my Zoom right now. So for awards, we have actually two sets of awards for both the time trial and for the Grand Prix. For the time trial, in 1st place, the time trial, by the way, is completing the Grand Prix 2022 as quick as possible. So we don't care about completion. Oh, am I back? I'm back.
Keep talking.
All right. So for the time trial, we are awarding our 1st place winner to the Super Gremlins for completing the full course in 371 seconds. And by the way, if you guys are wondering, they did end up completing the loop, but just not in our final race. In 2nd place is BW6 by completing the full course in 442 seconds. And by the way, Super Gremlins is Aiden Chong and Ben Modiano, and BW6 is Elena Bezati, Helena Fountas, and Ashley Zhang. And for 3rd place, for the time trial, those 2 groups were the only ones that actually completed the rigorous course. It was really difficult, so I was surprised anyone actually completed it. But the 3rd place goes to Runes Wolfs, who's actually made it to Phase Rush in 403 seconds before crashing into the wall of Sky Arena. So this is Peter Chen, Jiwoo Kim, Swash Shiv, and Manasa Viswanath. So good job, guys. And I will also announce the winners for the Grand Prix. So for the bracket race we all just saw, we all know who won. So congratulations to BW6 for taking home the grand trophy. And I've actually got a little picture here I can show you of what will be sent to you in about a week or so. And this will be personalized with your name on it. And I hope you guys enjoy the 3D modeled trophy that we made for you. And in 2nd place, we had Super Gremlins. So although they didn't actually complete the loop during the actual course, they take 2nd place. The 3rd place is actually our Grease team with the debuggers. And finally, we have Team Hackers, who came in right after the Grease team. So congratulations, everyone. We are so proud of you for completing this course. And we hope you have we can take lessons from this course into your future. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris and Paul. And I'm glad one of our international teams, the team from Greece, the debuggers, did very well. And I was really impressed with their participation as well, because they only joined the class the last week after they received the final challenge simulation. So moving on, the next class we're going to talk about is designing for assistive technology. And if you didn't notice, that stretched over 2 sessions because they had a large enough class and complex enough projects that they deserve that extra time. So I want to go ahead and have the TAs unmute, and so that they can do the presentations. right? Have I got it, Hosea? Okay.
Yep. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Hosea Su, and I'm the lead instructor for Design of Assistive Tech. This summer, Design of Assistive Tech saw 28 students work together with people in their communities, most with disabilities of one kind or another, to build products to make day-to-day living a little bit better. Unlike the other courses here at BWSI, we don't actually have a single set of labs or a single set of materials because we can't actually predict what the students will work on. The products themselves range from walker attachments to lower fall risk to hydration tracking devices to wearable devices to help from everything from finger mobilities to pain reduction to tremors. We'll be giving awards now, but before we do, what I'll say is that the real award of this class, Design of AT, is the time that the students got to spend working with a member of their own communities, understanding their days, their dreams, their difficulties, and taking that to the design and construction of a new product, many of which we've already seen are actually really making a difference in the lives of their users. Now, beyond the amazing work that everyone in this course has already done, there are a few categories that we wanted to recognize a few students for, and for that, I wanted to hand it off to our TAs, starting with Evan.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Evan Bookite. I'm a TA for the Assistive Technology Summer Course, and I'm proud to present the Documentation Sketch Award. Documentation is a vital skill needed to communicate specific design ideas in a straightforward and effective way. The staff members were all incredibly impressed with the documentation from the students. However, one stood out. It's my pleasure to award the AT Documentation Sketch Award to Holly Weber. Holly's documentation allowed staff and students alike to understand exactly how she planned to design and implement custom-made bike grips for her dad, her co-designer. Please join me in congratulating Holly. Next up is going to be Lauren, talking about the Documentation Storytelling Award.
Why don't we move on to the Perseverance Through Adversity Award?
Yeah, no problem. Sorry about the technical glitches, guys. Once again, I'm Dr. Evan Bookite, and this time I'll be presenting the award for Perseverance Through Adversity. Many challenges are faced during a design process. However, these situations are often magnified while working with co-designers who have disabilities. The students all did wonderful jobs navigating through hard conversations, difficult contact hours, and often changing design ideas. The winner of the Perseverance Through Adversity Award accomplished all of these feats and more to design a system after changing co-designers mid-project. Christiana Nguyen, I'm happy to present you with this award. Congratulations and great job working with your original client as well as their family.
For the next award, we want to talk about co-designer collaboration. And designing for assistive tech, one of the most important things is understanding your co-designer needs. And I just want to say that everyone did such a great job. But one special shout out to that we want to give to is to Keshav. He didn't just think about the physical needs of the co-designer, but also the emotional and social needs. So great job.
Hi everyone, my name is Daniel, and I'm a TA for the Design of Assistive Technology course. The next award is titled the Team Player Award. It goes out to the student who has stepped above and beyond helping other students. Assistive technology projects are primarily independent, but that didn't stop this student from helping in any way he could. Whether it be staying up late to help another student debug his Raspberry Pi, using physics equations to calculate the torque of a motor, or consistently giving feedback to other people's projects. We would like to award this year's Team Player Award to Feder. Congratulations, Feder, for receiving this award.
All right, and I think our last TA might be having some technical difficulties, so I'll be presenting our last award, Documentation Storytelling. So when we work with products, one of the most important things to deal with is communicating how our product works, both in the technology and in how it works with our users, so that we really understand what's going on and what can be improved and the whole process of going through this product use. So for this, we wanted to recognize Gavin Yee for his extensive, very detailed storytelling based around his product, something that would help his co-designer remember when to take medications and let her family members help her remember these things through the app. So congratulations to Gavin. So I believe that is all of our category awards. Congratulations to everyone from Design of AT. Like I mentioned, really the prize for this award, the prize for this class is working with your co-designer. And as we've seen that your products are making it out into the world, they are making a difference. You are making a difference. And I hope that you continue to make a difference through the end of this course.
Thank you, Hosea. That's wonderful. I think some of the classes, I will admit that I very much enjoyed playing PowerPoint karaoke with the class on Friday. It was a lot of fun and very interesting. So next up is Christian Cardozo, teaching the Medlytics course. He's been with us a couple of years now, has helped with summer, again, outreach courses. Take it away, Christian.
Sure, Joel, and if it's fine, I'd like to start with the Dr. Bob Award, given the initial confusion. Yes, okay, well, I need to find a way to outdo Dr. Bob, so I will have a drum roll here. And the winner of the Dr. Bob Award is Aaron Kim. Aaron, and this is a nomination we all wrote together as staff, Aaron is a valued team member whose talent is matched only by his humility. He works collaboratively with his peers, ensuring that they're all on the same page, no matter how lost they all seem to initially be. Aaron is also incredibly self-driven, often exploring course material outside of the classroom. And for his academic prowess, perseverance, and his kindness, we emphatically nominate Aaron Kim for the Dr. Bob Award. That's the first award. All right, and now I'll do the rest as Christian. First one, and actually I'll be the first on the staff to give this award, is the, well, you'll know what it is. Picture this. You're taking a month-long college-level data science course from Thailand, working from sunset to sunrise. Your vampiric sleep schedule leads you to catch dengue fever. And it gets worse. It's the week the Fourier transform is being introduced. Well, if you're like the winner of this award, it's not something you can just survive, it's something you conquer. The winner of this award came back with a vengeance in the third week of Medlytics. As a leader in her groups, we completely forgot she had been gone at all. For her brilliance and her follow-through, we award the 2022 Medlytics Resilience Award to Tim, who I think will be here. I think she's on here. All right, Skylar, Arian, are you two here as well?
Yes, I'm here.
Beautiful.
The next award is for enthusiasm. If Smiles made electricity, she could power several Bitcoin mining farms and maybe even Arsh's laptop. There was much competition for this award, but still, the student was always open to implementing new tools, strategies, and suggestions. Her aura was always more than inviting, and in teamwork, especially in our course, this was more important than developing the deepest neural network. For these reasons, we're happy to award the 2022 Medlytics Enthusiasm to Lucy Kim.
Hi, everyone. My name is Arian Jenn, and our next award, going to two students, is Initiative, a measurement of a student's willingness to go above and beyond, both within the classroom and outside of it. Both of these students are incredibly collaborative and proactive. They truly listen to their team's perspectives and go that extra mile to understand what they're doing. Among other things, they've contacted a Boston Dyslexia Center for insight as they were working on their project. For their curiosity and endless intrinsic motivation, we proudly award the 2022 Medlytics Initiative Award to Netta Shubin and Tyler Westland. Congratulations, guys.
All right, thank you, Medlytics. We're gonna go for a deep dive now with Captain Miller and First Mate Joe Edwards and go to the Autonomous Underwater Vehicle course.
Oh, Joel, I think we have one more award to give out for Miller.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. No,
Christian, I'm sorry.
It's all right. Lama, are you here? We divvied up the announcements by the TAs. She might not be here, but I'll go ahead and read it. So this is another tough decision. This student is an incredibly strong problem solver. More than that, he is consistent. No matter the task, we could count on him to spearhead the team's work and chug along. His calm, cool, and collected demeanor is matched only by his prowess as a data scientist. We enthusiastically award the 2022 Medlytics Attitude Award to Shirich Teoda. I think we got everybody now. That was 5 awards, no?
All right. Well, thank you, Christian. And that's quite all right for jumping in on that. So we are going to go for a deep dive now with the autonomous underwater vehicle course. So Madeline, Joe, I'm not sure who's going to be presenting, but
yeah, it'll be me, Joel. So this is Joe Edwards. I was the co-lead instructor of autonomous underwater vehicles again this year. Totally different course than last year. The way that our course worked this year is we had the teams do swarms of heterogeneous vehicles to accomplish a number of tasks: tag whales, photograph fish, pick up treasure and carry it out of the zone, bring it home with them. And a very challenging problem. And we had 4 teams that ultimately competed in rounds of competition, semifinals and finals. It was not intended to be competitive, although you know how it works. It was competitive. But we thought all of our teams exhibited some unique characteristics, and so we're going to give each of those teams an award, an ocean-themed award. So our Great White Shark Award goes to the manatees, which was Braj, Varsha, Shane, Darius, and Catherine, for their ruthless efficiency. They had points in every round. They were tough from the beginning, picked up every possible way of collecting points. And in fact, at some point, they were limited by bugs in the instructor code, where we had a treasure that was following an underwater vehicle, and it decided it wanted to follow a fish instead, which limited their point total. Our second award is the Leatherback Turtle Award. Goes to Clownfish, which is a team consisting of Kenji, Andrew, Amruta, Leeson, Ada, and Ashwarya. Because like baby leatherbacks who are born on the beach and struggle to get to the ocean, the Clownfish came out a little rocky start, and after a few rounds of competition, they got together and became a very formidable team. And by the end, they were in the final and had a shot to win, if we call it winning. Our next award is the Salmon Award, which goes to Tank Gang. They were resilient and persevered, and they had the most consistent results throughout all the rounds. And they were strong in all aspects of the challenge, from the competition itself to doing the data analysis, the post-processing, and also their presentation skills. They were a very strong team, very well-rounded. That team was David, Jess, Akshaya, Leo, Bernie, and Linnea. And our final award is the Bluefin Tuna Award. It goes to the Water Cheetahs for their creative autonomous swarming techniques. They took a high-risk approach, which achieved some interesting results, including forming a fish tornado in an early round, where they actually had their vehicles chasing each other around in circles, maybe as a defensive technique. But they were doing that instead of pursuing whales, fish, and treasure. But they sorted that out and got together, and it also became very strong by the end. So thank you. Those are the awards for the autonomous underwater vehicles.
Thank you, Joe. And moving on to our other course that is brought to us from MITRE, the Quantum Software course. Richard Preston, please join us and take it away.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I'm Richard Preston, lead instructor for the Quantum Software course. So we were one of the other ones we got cut off for the Dr. Bob Award. So first, I don't have a drum roll, but if you can imagine the drum roll, the person we wanted to award the Dr. Bob Berman Disruptive Innovation Award for Quantum Software is Ace Chun. So throughout the program, Ace never stopped learning and building. They did not shy away from any of the extra coding challenges and conceptual problems that we brought in. After class, they would engage with other students on Discord to explore new ideas. So for example, upon seeing an intriguing comment about a math fact, Ace immediately got to programming a script to visualize its implications and share with the rest of the class. So this appreciation for sharing a deeper understanding with others was really highlighted when Ace shared their lecture notes for the other students to reference. And I mean, these notes were amazing. They elegantly distilled all the concepts covered both in class and in the guest lectures into a textbook style document with in-depth explanations and beautiful diagrams. Nobody asked them to do this. It was just an extra thing that Ace took up upon themselves. So just put simply, ACE has blown away all the staff and students with their ability, and we expect them to make outstanding contributions in whatever field they want to pursue. So that was the Dr. Bob Award, and then we did have one team award. So this is the second year I've been teaching this course, and I know from experience that it's extremely difficult to explain quantum computing to a general audience. So when it came time for the students to produce their final videos explaining their work, this was a huge challenge. I think it was much harder than the students perhaps expected. So we just wanted to recognize all the work that went into these by highlighting the team that we thought had the most engaging video. Of course, we're so proud of all the teams, and the hope is that this will encourage folks who missed the quantum software presentations, go back and watch on YouTube once those videos are posted. But this group that we selected exemplifies how a diverse team can come together to produce something creative and innovative. One person in this team actually has experience with video creation using professional editing tools, which is fantastic because it's so important as scientists, engineers, that we can communicate our ideas and our work in ways that are going to be exciting, engaging, and can be understood and appreciated by others, right? Science sometimes gets a bad rap out there. And so if we can really get excited about our ideas and be able to communicate them effectively, this is extremely important. So the team is Sherlock Holmes. So Karen Shekian, Jason Chin, Nathan Lemma, and Zil Bayani, congratulations. And then once again, thanks so much to all the course staff, program administrators, as well as a huge thank you to all the students. You inspire me, and you put so much work into your projects and videos. We're so proud of what you've been able to accomplish. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Richard. And thank you, MITRE, for supporting this course and participating in the Summer Institute. Our next course up is CubeSat. Maddie Schroeder is just an example of the great collaboration between Lincoln Laboratory and the Aero-Astro department. Maddie is a graduate student in Aero-Astro, so go ahead. Let's lift off, Maddie.
Thanks. Cool. Yeah, my name is Maddie Schroeder, and I'm one of the instructors for the CubeSat summer program. Over the past 4 weeks, students in this course have been learning about, researching, and building CubeSats. And I first just want to thank all of our guest lecturers from Lincoln Lab and Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute, who put together numerous hours of lectures on topics from power systems to attitude control, and really shared their valuable time and experience with the class. So I'm sure the students will all also thank you for that. For the second half of the course, the students worked on a final project with a science mission focused on using satellite images to detect harmful algae, and they worked tirelessly well past bedtime for 2 weeks, designing and assembling their satellite structure, planning their imaging, downlinking, testing their designs, and debugging what seemed like a million code issues. And I really want to thank our TAs, Emily and Aiden, for all of their support, helping the students with this work. Teaching this class would not be possible without all of your help. And then for the final flight demo, the students had their CubeSats image some algae blooms in their houses. They can tell you some difficulties with that setup. And their mission scores were determined by performance on design reviews, critical function demonstrations of their CubeSat, and the accuracy of their algae bloom measurements during this flight demo. And then the final presentation of their results that some of you saw today. So considering all of these scoring criteria, I'm happy to announce that the first place team for the final project mission is Team Charms. So congratulations, Stephen Lee, Rhea Rai, Hannah Lee, Alex Tong, and Ivy Lan. You all did an amazing job planning out your mission and executing it. And your thoughtful approach to testing and strong collaboration were wonderful to watch over the past 4 weeks. And I just want to finish up with a quick thank you that can't express everything that I feel, but I'll try, to all the CubeSat students who put in an incredible amount of effort this summer. You all really stepped up to the challenge for this program. And I know you'll continue to use these skills that you demonstrated to me and all of your peers here to be amazing engineers in the future. So thank you all for the good summer.
Thank you, Maddie. We're going to go airborne, even maybe a little lower than a CubeSat, but to airborne to the autonomous UAV course. Nathaniel Hansen and Eric Leddett were able to create the course again virtually. It could be a very difficult course to make virtual, and here they are to talk about the course and the teams.
Yeah, so as Joel mentioned, I'm Nathaniel Hansen.
I'm Eric Vedette.
And we are your co-lead instructors for the air racing course this summer. So as Joel mentioned, it's a difficult challenge to take a drone racing course with real hardware and make that virtualized. So we're one of the few summer courses that actually uses real hardware. And so that has its own set of logistical challenge. So I want to start by thanking Bob Shin for really helping us to kind of reimagine what the virtual course could look like. It's very different than the in-person course, but we think it's equally as valuable. And especially to Joel and Lisa, thank you for being the boots on the ground, helping mail equipment all over the country to enable all the great work that the students have done. Without the support of all the BWSI admin staff, none of this would have happened. So even though this is our second year of offering the course virtually, that last year was a bit rough. And so this year we thought of as really greasing the gears. And so we had an excellent staff to help make that happen. So I really want to thank Ramaisa, who was one of our TAs this summer and was a previous BWSI alum from 2019. She came in early and she absolutely killed it. She helped us really set a lot of groundwork for our course. She helped build ROS wrappers and just like helped re-engineer the curriculum. She was updating websites. She was a rock star and she enabled a lot of the great final projects. So I really wanted to thank her from the bottom of my heart for making and going above and beyond what I thought a college undergraduate could be as a TA. Thank you. But then also a huge thank you to all the other instructors that we had. So we had we had two other doctoral students. We had Fueco from MIT. We had Matt from BU. Also had Matthew, who's a MS student now at MIT. Really, really wonderful course staff that really helped round out all of our experiences and to really cover and make sure that there's always a great presence in the Zoom rooms, helping students all throughout the night with a lot of challenges. So speaking of all the work that the students did, so we had great final challenges, and for our final challenge, we've made it an open source project. So basically students, we gave them the full spectrum of what they could work on. So it wasn't quite really a race, but we wanted it to reflect the diversity and the interest of our students. So we let them self-organize into teams and we saw everything. So we had people tracking for like disaster relief and tracking people who fall, to dancing drones that could play Just Dance. It was a really awesome showing of just what drones could possibly do. But that being said, we intended to give out a single award in this session to represent the best overall, just one team. But your instructors just couldn't agree because we thought they were all so excellent. So a little bit off script, but we're actually going to give out 3 awards today. And I'll go ahead and get started. So for the best demo, we award this to Team Autonomous Agents, consisting of Paul, Phoenix, Aditi, and Andre.
And for best presentation, we're going to give that award out to Team Herd, which is comprised of Zane, Camden, and Russell.
And for the best overall combined project, drumroll please, we award it to Team Buff Bobus of Alex, Ishan, Adrian, and Jaden. And for your very special efforts, we have something that will be coming in the mail as soon as we finish assembling them. But we have these awesome 3D printed trophies, courtesy of Joel. So look forward to those in the coming days and weeks. Back over to Eric.
Yeah, I just want to finish up by saying this was really hard to choose one team. We had to last minute just make it into categories, and honestly, everyone deserves a trophy. Unfortunately, we couldn't give everyone a trophy. You all did amazing. We're all really proud of you, and we're really grateful to have you all as our students. So, and again, thank you to our TAs and co-instructors. You all were amazing as well. We couldn't have done this without all of you.
All right. Thank you, Nathaniel. Thank you, Eric. We're going to move on to Serious Games, a course that was kind of reinvented again. It's a course that seems to change a little bit every year. And with Walter and with Ron running it this year, We're hoping that it was yet another great year for the Serious Games course. Walter, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So this is actually a very interesting experience for me because I was never expecting to come back to the course. I was brought on as a TA, and then they reached out to me again asking for me to lead the course along with Ron. And I, at first, was kind of not entirely sure about it because my coding experience is not nearly as good as my co-instructors. But thankfully, I was able to lean on him and his amazing abilities to get this course done. We were working with some of the most bright students I've ever worked with, to be quite frank with you. Difficult at times since I'm currently having a Discord on the right of me as they get ready to spam the chat. But amazing students and constantly excited for all the work we've done. And given the focus on the research nature of the course, it's hard to really score these students based on the kind of work that they've done, given strictly the fact where it's like, if the research didn't do well, that's research. So it's kind of difficult to explicitly say which teams did better than others because they all did amazing work. However, we did, as instructors, come together and decide on 3 teams that we did feel really did an amazing job within their individual projects. And that is Courtney 1, Willie 1, and Yuli 2. I would say all the students in those, but that's about 15, and I don't think I should go through all of them. However, they are an amazing group of students, and even those that I didn't mention still all did amazing work. And this truly made this summer something that I'm very happy I was able to be a part of, since it was an experience I very much will not forget. Ron?
Yeah, I have to second what Chris said. I mean, the ability, every single one of these students was able to thrive, to learn from each other, and to take this foundation of a game that we had worked on, and they were able to go above and beyond with it. So regardless of what happens, regardless of how this finished up, I am incredibly proud of the work that they were all able to do. And I also especially grateful. I know I cannot have done this without Chris, without the amazing staff, and I also cannot have done this without the incredible TAs here. Yuli, Willie, Courtney, they have been rock stars in our field. And the ability to work alongside them and to watch these students learn was a great experience.
All right. Thank you, Chris and Ron. So we're at our last course, Adam Wong, who, again, is like some of our other courses. He took a course that was originally a cybersecurity for software and changed it to something new called cyber ops. Again, a very relevant topic. But again, here, that's how fast moving the cyber ops, cyber technologies are. So take it away, Adam.
Sir, can you guys hear me? Excellent. Sir, thank you. Dr. Shin, thank you very much for the summer of a lifetime and having the opportunity to pass on cyber knowledge to the next generation. Thank you to Joel and Lisa for tirelessly working to support the experimental class. Noah and Michael, thank you. Michael especially, as I'm crying under my desk at 2 a.m. from all the planning. Mason, Emma, Shannon, thank you for your hard work for these past months. And to my commander, Major Seth Williams, for authorizing me the ability to be here and crash your party during a drill weekend. So I have no other awards other than the Dr. Bob Award. However, I will say this, good news for meeting all technical core requirements, fire teams, Avalanche, Castle, Dragon, Majestic, Osiris, and Raven, you all receive goes for course completion, so you'll receive that certificate, as well as a little poker chip for your fire team. Sir, I, Warrant Officer Candidate Adam Dorian Wong, hereby assess that these students are technically capable operators and have earned the title of cyber operators. So congrats to the class of 2022, the Cy Beavers, and their motto, protect, detect, and respond. So good news there. Bad news, capstone. Is a shame. Sorry to do this in recording. Shame that I lost 30 challenge coins. So congrats to all 30 of you students. This is the only time you'll ever get away with this. So all 30 of you. Yeah, I'm immensely proud of these students. They ran the digital gauntlet since day one. Well, usually that's a socialization day. No, we just grabbed them by the collar and shoved them through the door, as we say in the Army. So they've been training nonstop, and I'm immensely proud of them. I've witnessed growth as individuals, students becoming more confident in speaking with their peers. I witnessed Mr. Nicholas Yap completely wipe everyone out in poker on our recovery day. So I know never to play cards against him. And I can't say this is one of the greatest classes I've ever had, and they're the first events I've ever got to teach, and they will all receive the class song, All Things by Dual Core. So congrats on receiving and earning your challenge coin.
Thank you, Adam. We're now going to, we have wrapped up the team awards. We're going to go and listen to something from Jenn Watson and Dan Ripin, who hosted all of our lunchtime seminars.
Hi, everybody. Jen and Dan here to congratulate you on successfully completing BWSI 2022. You are a class of incredibly talented students, very, very impressive group, about 350 students. You showed up every day, you worked through challenges, you persevered. I'm sure you had a lot of late nights too, and you did it. It's been fantastic to see the results of your courses in the final project demonstrations today. Dan and I had the privilege of moderating your seminars this year, and what an incredible group of people you heard from. You heard from professors, you heard from innovators, you heard from philanthropists, people who are leaders in their field and shared incredible amounts of technology and advice. You heard about technology that ranged from things like fighter jets to ocean science and climate change. And you got a lot of really meaningful advice that I hope you hold with you as you continue on your academic and professional careers. Things like from Professor Medard, don't be constrained by conventional wisdom, chart your own course. And things like from Leonard Loveland, follow your passion, go after what excites you and continue learning.
Similarly, I think we heard a fantastic advice from Dr. Ellie Nywood, who talked about embracing what scares you the most and just going for it and giving it a try, even if things scare you. Josue Lopez talking about the fact that everyone fails, and to learn from that and then go on to your next adventure. And also some really fascinating technical things. For example, Vladimir Bulovich talking about some of the amazing future in nanotechnology, some of the types of things that you could work on in your future. And so we're just so glad to have been a part of this. We loved your questions in those talks. You all have done a fantastic job. Good luck with the future, and we hope that we'll continue to see you again in the future. So best of luck to all of you.
Congratulations.
It is my great pleasure to officially declare that you are all cool-looking beaver ballers just like me.
All right, Lisa, are you joining me?
I am. So let's have everybody turn on their cameras. We're going to bring the students in for some congratulations and applause. So just a few things to end the day. If we don't have the information on how to reach you once you've graduated high school, reach out to us. As you've seen, we have many opportunities for students to come back and be part of BWSI. Don't forget, students, to take the end of the course survey. This is important to ensure we get your feedback so next year can be even better. We are always sad at this point in the event. We've made new friends, lots of memories that are going to stay with us for our entire lives. We're able to watch your presentations, and every year we're just more and more astounded at all that you can do. We hope that you make good use of the knowledge that you've gained at BWSI. Thank you to all of our sponsors and donors. Without them, we would not be able to run such an amazing program. If you're interested in being a donor to BWSI, look at our website or reach out to us. We're not saying goodbye to you. The BWSI staff is wishing you good luck in your future. And remember, stay in touch. This is officially the end of the program, and you'll be able to find all that you saw today on our YouTube channel. So we'd like to close out the program now and say goodbye. Have a great summer and a wonderful school year.
Bye.